What does the NAR lawsuit really mean to you as a consumer? We'll be talking about that, as well as there's a new scam that you have to be aware of and what you get for $1 million in Santa Clara County. Look at the economic and housing development program from the feds and the 12 months of inventory. Look, let's get moving into this. So actually I have to go to a meeting real quick. So I'm going to make this as quick and painless as possible. What does this NAR lawsuit really mean to you as a consumer? For the seller, it's actually a boon, but nothing really changes. For the buyer, you might get screwed into having to pay a little bit more in closing costs because the seller is less reluctant nowadays to pay you or help give any concessions. Now, what really is going to happen, we don't know. This is all supposition. You look at all of these news reports, you go on TikTok or Facebook or wherever, you're going to see a lot of people talking about this. And it feels like this is what was going to happen. And then even here, like Vox is saying that the housing market's going to crash. How is that one thing going to crash the market? The demand is still there. There's a lot of salacious baloney that's being floated out there. So my intention for you is don't listen to it until we actually get a ruling from the judge, which is July. We're not going to know exactly what's happening. We're getting a lot of guidelines as to how we're supposed to be doing business now. This is like an ebb and flow of what's going on. NAR has asked to settle with the plaintiffs and is presented to the judge. And we won't know anything until July. So all this crap that you see here, I don't think it's going to stop anything. I don't think that we're going to have all of a sudden a flood of inventory and prices are going to get slashed. It's still going to have to happen. If you're going to have a buyer's agent, you have to be represented by a buyer's agent. You're going to have to pay him one way or the other. Nothing's going to change. Does the seller have to pay? No, the seller never had to pay. So really, it doesn't matter. I think it's actually good because it's going to tighten up how we do business. And it's going to screw over a lot of the lead aggregator companies like Zillow and Trulia and Redfin, because that's how they built their business on. They take a huge chunk of the commission from the buyer's agent in order to help them sell houses. And I just never believed in that model anyway. So goodbye. What's going to happen here? We don't know. Rant over. Vacant lands property scam. Know the red flags. I'm not going to go into this a whole lot because it's tricky. If you own land, be aware that people are scamming things out. It's not like the Airbnb scam where they come in and they rent an Airbnb unit, whether it's a house or a condo, for a month, and then they put it on the market for sale, and then they collect a lot of deposits and contracts and everything, and they cash out, and that's a lot of money. They can be scamming 10, 15, 20 people out of deposit money, and that's gone, right? The owner of the Airbnb is not entitled. It's the same thing happening here. They pose as the owner of this property and they try to find somebody that's willing to buy it. And then they either take the deposit and run, who cares, or they sell it and then they get a whole lot more money. And it's fraudulent. We talked about this a little bit earlier, a few months ago with Suzanne from Cornerstone. And we talked about how this is happening to older people where there's title fraud that's happening. There's a reason why we're around, because we get educated as to what is happening and how to protect people from all these different types of scams, but also how to negotiate for you and how to walk you through the entire process. 95123, I'll show you in the map where it is real quick. This is Blossom Valley in 85. Oak Grove High School is right here. And this is Marshall Cottle. And these are the banana groves, or the groves, right? So it's right here, nice little inside corner lot. Get rid of this here. 4-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,399 square feet on a smaller acre of land. Usually 1.8 is what we're looking for average. 46 years old, days on market 7. List price is $1 million. What you get for $1 million. San Jose, Santa Clara County. I know somebody that has the same floor plan. It's a good floor plan. The garage is right there. That's a refrigerator. This is actually a sliding glass door. You can't see that right now. This is a good standard unit, maintained, has original pretty much everything, the appliances, etc. But that's what you get for $1 million these days. That's what happens when you live in Santa Clara County. It costs more to live here on every level, but that's a standard, good looking standard house. Okay, want to go into this a little bit right here. This is from Freddie Mac. U.S. Economic Housing and Mortgage Outlook. It just came out yesterday, and they talk about how jobs are, but it also goes into a little bit of cost of living. So it really dives down into insurance, and your insurance is important. And you hear a lot of this, right? For example, it costs $5, almost $6 per thousand for your insurance premium in Florida. It's $2.30 per thousand in California. It's not the lowest, but it's pretty daggum low. If you look at the threshold, the ones in dark states are more expensive. Texas is 6, Oklahoma's 10. So there you go. Another thing to look at is the cost burden, right? So talking about California being a great place to live, yes, it's more expensive, but when you look at the overall insurance burden or the cost by state, California doesn't take a big, huge chunk. Still, one, it's not the lowest, but it's not the highest, like Louisiana and Mississippi and Florida, which is why those states are having problems. We're having problems with drought and forest fires and sometimes earthquakes. There you go. So the idea behind insurance is that it's a necessary evil. You need it. I just totaled a car, so glad we have it. They're going to give us some money to either salvage it, take it away from us, or they're going to give us a little bit less money. But that's what insurance is for. And thank the universe that nobody was hurt. She rear-ended somebody and that person rear-ended somebody. So it was a triple car collision. Everybody's fine. Everybody's safe. Months of inventory. Looks like it's going down. If you look at these numbers right here, you can look at the numbers here, right? This number is going to go up and down. Last week we spiked up quite a bit, but that's normal. These numbers are going to go up and down here. They're going to wag, but you're going to see that they have a straight line over time. It's the same thing with the cities. Los Altos Hills is the outlier. So if you just imagine, if you look, inventory is, or this is months of inventory. If we stop putting new listings on the market today, it would take San Jose 1.1 months to sell everything out versus Los Altos Hills, which is 4.7, because they're a whole lot more expensive, right? Same thing with Mountain View, Milpitas, Monte Sereno.